Recently, our client Tommy met his banker to discuss continuing his father's restaurant legacy. In us, he found a partner that understood the importance of passing the torch. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Tommy.
Oh, man. It's not every so often I go ahead and I do an afternoon show, especially with experimental things I'm doing right now. I mean, what would it being, well, it's not even really afternoon, is it? It's after 2, 7 after 2. Well, how about that? But you got to figure this. It's 12 o'clock somewhere. I would like to say that it's over there in one of the other time zones out there. So, in case you didn't realize, welcome to the J-Man Show here on J360 Radio.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Yeah, what's going on, J360 Legion? This is the J-Man Show, of course, hosted by J.M. Brady, a.k.a. J-Man. So, we're here for episode 198 so far, and yes, we are doing an experimental thing today. It's called the 2-in-1 Special, which means you not only get this episode, but you get another episode at 10 tonight. Yeah, isn't that amazing? I'm always the workaholic around here, guys. I mean, one way or another, it just doesn't stop me from wanting to put this show on for you guys, especially with all the entertainment value that happens these days. Now, I know I said a lot on that mini-bite yesterday regarding, something controversial regarding Black Panther. And you see, the thing is, some of y'all are probably wondering what it was. But you see, it doesn't have anything to do with the film itself. The film itself is really good. I mean, even if you could say, it borrows from Lion King, or you could say, it's just not 100% the best. I mean, a lot of people have ran around and said that after the hype died down. I'm like this. You know what? I enjoyed the film. I thought the film was great, and I was looking forward to the sequel, like a lot of people were. But unfortunately, Black Panther himself will not be joining us for that. And that's because of a very unfortunate tragedy that happened. I remember doing a Jams episode when that came about, and I didn't know how to feel about it. I think I was doing Jam 6 at the time. And, yeah, kind of rough. But you know something? The thing about it is, it's not only that happened, but the way we all had that moment of mourning for him, there will never be another Chadwick Boseman. I mean, the guy really put time in on his career and building all that stuff up, and I admire his strength, especially from what he went through. But I will say this in terms of Black Panther, the character. A lot of people were thinking of retiring that character and not casting anybody to play the role of Black Panther anymore. See, on one hand, I respect him, and I always will. But I also know that in filmmaking is also a business, and there's at least multitudes of different people playing Batman, James Bond, Superman, and all sorts of other pop culture characters that we enjoy, regardless what, And you see, the thing about it is this. It would actually maintain the legacy of Black Panther better if we did have another one joining in and stepping up and becoming the next T'Challa. Now, I know some of y'all have been out of shape by that. I know some of y'all are probably in the background. Some of y'all probably fainted. Get some water for that person. I'm just letting you know that one way or another, it's not to the point where this movie can't be made, but you see, the thing is, we had a great Black Panther, yes, but there is somebody else who can do the role. It's kind of like how we all put Wolverine on a pedestal. there's another person out there that's just capable of playing Wolverine, similar to Hugh Jackman. And you see, the thing is, when you put this stuff on pedestals and things, you know, you kind of have a hard time thinking, oh, recasting is horrible. It's not right. It shouldn't be a thing. Blah, blah, blah. They're actors. You know, after a while, actors get older and actors pass on. I mean, eventually, you never know. They might reboot the whole MCU after a while. Give or take. It's still fresh now, but it's got some mileage in after 10 years or so. And it's been a good 10 years. But like I say, the idea of it is, it will not take away from what Chad did. You understand what I'm saying? See, a lot of people get bent out of shape by this because they remember that face. They know that face. They know who he is. And I get that. I've seen the video where, you know, a young child actually identified Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Here's the thing. He set the way for other people to be Black Panther too. That's the beauty of it, you know? Like, one way or another, even if he was still with us and stuff and he could fulfill those contracts, there are other things that, you know, guess what? There are people who can step in and play the role too, in addition to what's going down. Of course, you know, as I say that, I look at the current plans that they have for the Black Panther franchise, and I see that it's going to be dealing with Wakanda and all that stuff. And, you know, I think about it a lot. And you see, Wakanda, maybe that should be the name of the movie then if you're going to be using, you know, things from Wakanda and stuff. That's just the way it is. You get my meaning? But one way or another, I'm not saying this to be entirely controversial for the sake of being controversial, but what I'm saying is the nature of the beast in the business is usually when you recast, regardless what, posthumously, or if somebody's not going to fulfill their obligation. And that's just the sad part about it, you know? And, like, when I think about it from time to time, would I use recasting as a way? If I was still making movies, possibly. But as I am still making movies, you know, it's up in the air about it. But it's not going to take away from Chad. Chad will always be the number one Black Panther, the first one to play the role and the first one to follow through with it, especially in live-action format. You see what I'm saying? It's just one of those kind of things. And, like, when I look at people talk about recasting, they say all these things about their fan theories, and they go all on these tangents and all that stuff. Yes, it was a heavy loss for us all. But, you know, at the same time, you could still continue that story. There's something there that's still motivated. You get my drift? And it's just, like, one of those things that people don't like talking about, but you got to have these hard conversations, especially in this industry. And you see, as I work on some other things about this industry, like, I've seen something else where people are talking about writing is hard and originality is hard to come by. Is it really? I mean, I can understand, like, trying to become that center of attention or becoming, you know, the talk in town, the biggest person ever, like, you know, getting that J.K. Rowling feel, like everybody loves your work and all that stuff, even though, like, your statements that come out now, people don't really agree with. But you see, the thing about that is that, have you actually tried? Have you tried writing? Have you tried putting all your ideas down? Have you tried letting them fail? Yes. Be brave about letting things fail, too. That's how you become successful after a while. You'll learn from the failure. You'll learn from all those things. But you see, people don't seem to have that mentality. I've seen a lot of stuff where it's like one and dones and people not trying and all these other things. Like, didn't work the first time, so why would I go ahead and do it again? Okay, you don't get no argument entirely from me on that, but you kind of let everybody do the talking for you. You kind of let the world beat you. Now, I've said this many times on this series, such as, like, the institutions that surround us are woefully built on failure, and they're woefully and ineptly ran. You know what I mean? Ineptitude is everywhere, even from things that we hold in high regard, especially when it comes to, you know, performing arts and movies. It takes a lot, really it does. But as we have this chat right now, I just want to say, like, you know, recasting is not a bad thing. And like I said, it doesn't take away from the estate. There's been many people who played the role of these characters, but they were given the blessing by the estate around the character, you know? That right there, if I had the chance to be Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman's estate gave me the blessing to be that character, I would follow it through even more so when I went for it. You know? Not everything is controversial, not everything is bad, and not everything goes against the grain of thinking, but when you hear certain people flip out over little things, especially in this toxic social climate we have nowadays, it astounds me. Because even as a budding director myself, I have a lot to attest for and a lot of things to speak of on that. It's very, very interesting to me, you know? But that's why we have this series, guys. We have to talk about certain things, and then in addition to the funny, I got to go ahead and bring about the serious. You know how that goes. Speaking of which, though, that's my take on recasting. I mean, what do you all think about recasting? Do you think that it's a big deal, or like, where do you feel about it all? And I mean, it's a very open forum, and you guys are allowed to go ahead and converse about it anytime you want to. I mean, the same thing could be said about, like, what I said about Logan earlier. You know, we can, like, it's not going to take from that movie at all. But a lot of y'all really want new X-Men stuff, don't you? Think about it. And you see, Wolverine, he's one of the trademarks in X-Men. Just like Cyclops is. And I still don't get how Cyclops got shafted in those X-Men movies. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Like, all the cameo appearances he was in and all that stuff. Like, even in the Wolverine movie that he was in, he still got owned. Nobody really likes Cyclops, do they? I don't know. It's one of the kind of things to think about. But, nah. Since they're all just rebooting things and it's going to be the mutants in the MCU, I just figured that it would be interesting to talk about. Because you never know anymore when it comes to people. Especially when it comes to, like, where do we go for as far as movies go. But, going back into the screenwriting thing, I tell you this to anybody that's writing right now. Or even whether it's blogs, whether it's sports reports, whether it's anything, or even trying to get that deadline on the editor's desk. Just write. Just put it down. Do what you got to do. Be honest about your writing and make sure that it happens well. But don't give up. Don't play the, oh, I can't do this game and stuff like that, because that really works. And then, you know me, I'm sure, like, they'll be saying, well, you know, Jay, cancel culture might come for you because of that topic. Bring it. Do what you must. I'm not running for the hills. I still got more episodes to make. And not only that, this is episode 198, so you figure that we are 1 from 200, so, if you didn't get me then, you ain't get me now anytime soon. And even then, I'm going to laugh and have a good load of enjoyment for it. After all, I am my own attorney, you know. Hey, speaking of which, so, tonight, those of you that have been wondering, how am I going to do 2 episodes in one? You'll be surprised. It's going to be pretty interesting, especially what I have lined up for you guys tonight. You can think of this almost like, let's see, maybe I should have called this the day episode, and I should call the other one the night episode, and that'd be the funny way of going about it. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to save that for next time, because I got to get started on the road to 300. I mean, it's like right there, folks. One way or another, we have made it as a unit and reached it. But I want to say this much about tonight's festivities. Yeah, we're going to have some fun with that one. But today, right now, I can go ahead and get all the serious stuff out of the way. Like, a lot of y'all have been talking about Derek Jacks and all sorts of other relationship gurus gone wrong. So, he cheated on his wife. You know how many people cheat on their wife? I'm not here to air out any dirty laundry, but quite a lot of people, even those you hold in high regards, they're not necessarily happily married. So it goes like this. It's not surprising to see that somebody would go that far, especially, like, we all had our laugh at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith last year, right? You know what I mean? It's more or less the August story. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure, like, if you get snatched up and you get married, that forbidden fruit is not too hard to come by. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're looking at it real good and you know you can't have it, but you want it so much. That booty be popping right, things like that. You know how it is. Some of y'all be feeling that way. You see, here's the thing. A long time ago, and dare I say this, but you might have to bake a cake if you're having those feelings. Now, keep in mind, ladies, I speak from the narrative of a 34-year-old man. So I'm letting all the other men out there know how to handle this little problem. Go ahead and bake a cake. And if you think I'm baking a real cake, you have not listened to this show long. And by the way, just for those of you who have stumbled on this show, hi, I'm J-Man. Now, the truth is about that is, gentlemen, jerk out those thoughts. Take the time out of your day, Jerk out those thoughts. Don't do it in public. Don't do it anywhere near where anybody can see you. Like, really just let those thoughts go in other ways. And that way you'll be so satisfied and without, warning and holding back on that sort of scenario, you'll be okay. You need to let that go. Don't get caught up like any of these other people out here, especially if you have a side piece. Because, if anything, you've probably heard my thoughts on side pieces and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it's great. And if you are dealing with at least one woman that's worth your time, that's a bit much. But that's me speaking as a 30-year-old. I'm sure like way, way back in the day, and I have, as a younger person, talking about multiple different women. And boy, howdy, trying to put that into practice is easy to do. But you see, at that point, when you're in your 20s, you're going to do that kind of stuff because that's what it's all about, You're getting your first taste of freedom, and then you're about to sow some wild oats, and if you ain't careful, something might come back out that looks just like you. It's little things like that. But you should go on ahead and look at it this way. Don't look to any of these relationship gurus as the end-all, be-all for how to do things. You're smart. Be aware of these things and stay true to yourself, and go and actually meet somebody that likes you for you. And then at the same time, then you can be as foolish as you want to be with them and all. That would be the most beautiful thing about it. If you get my drift. And then, see, a lot of people out here messing around with the wrong damn person anyway. And then I saw the video where him and his wife, his very dedicated wife, are there holding hands. And he's talking, and he's coming clean. Man, you know damn well she probably whooped his ass multiple times before the video. He probably don't even sleep in the same bed as her. And before you guys say that, oh, he's out there running around, Jay, you know how that goes. Yeah, I'm sure his side piece doesn't really want him that much either. But here's the thing. I'm sure his ass is on that couch day in and day out right now, trying to warm back up to his wife, But hey, at the same time, though, he's got money and he ain't got nothing to worry about in regards to it. But he's going to try to get that credibility back. I made a mistake, baby. I'm wrong. Please don't beat my ass. Please don't beat my ass. She beat his ass. And I hope she did. Because I know that a lot of people that bought into his stuff probably would want to beat his ass too. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But if you want to hear some advice, J-Man will happily give you some. Don't put these people on a pedestal. Do right by the people that you're with. And not only that, don't be greedy. Or if anything, how about this? How about you role play with who you have? You know what I'm saying? How about, I could never get her in my lifestyle. But you and me, baby, we in this together. How about you pretend to be her, and I'll pretend to be somebody that you want? I could be Denzel Washington. Yeah, I know that's a little old, because Denzel ain't the thing anymore for some of y'all. Denzel is a thing for some that are at least like 45 and 50 up. You guys right now would be like Michael B. Jordan, or even better, J-Man. Which, by the way, listen to J-Man right now. That's what you got. Yes, I will really help you out with that. Some of y'all are into it. I remember when I posted something on IG not too long ago, and quite a lot of you ladies was happy to see that. I think it was my cartoon avatar, which, by the way, if any of y'all had my cartoon face and all that stuff and you fell in love with it, try my real face. That'll really help you. But I figured I'd let you know. And not only that, I'll go ahead and say it ahead of time. I'm flattered if you did. But, it's just one of those kind of things to, talk about for a little bit. But yeah, like when it comes to people like Derek Jacks, I'm not surprised. I think quite a lot of significant people in the communities regarding like different kind of content creating, they got caught with certain things, and it was only a matter of time for him, and it's only a matter of time for anybody. But you see, what he should have did was, instead of having his wife there with him, instead of them sitting on the couch, that nice couch, talking to us, they should have had a little red table, kind of like Jada and Will. Maybe then we all probably would have been a little bit sympathetic to it, right? We all probably would have been talking about, his entanglement. Because that's a story. Yeah. When it comes to matters of the heart and the love game, it's a little different for any and everybody. I'm just like shaking my head about all that stuff right now. And you know where I'm going with that, right? A little thing called double standards. But you see, problem with double standards are, can you prove said double standard? And if you prove said double standard, can people tolerate what you just said about it? The answer to that is hell no. Not in this day and lifetime. Nope. People cannot tolerate you. You know, like even when I spoke about Black Panther earlier, I'm sure when people listen back to this episode, they're probably going to have a lot to say to me about it. Even though in one way or another, you probably know I'm right. Let's just say that. But that's going to be that after the fact kind of thing, because certain people will not allow certain changes to take place. And certain people don't want any sort of changes that go against the mindset of said, the talking town. And see, the talking town is beautiful, man, because they think that's the end all be all. And you see it all the time. Just like whenever IGN reports something, somebody's like, oh my God, they really know about gaming and care about my lifestyle. Yeah, sure, that's the market tempo that they are about. But at the same time, they're not 100% correct, because I remember one time they were talking about like how Fox's Civil War movie would have turned out, and we didn't even know Fox was making a damn Civil War movie. And even then, the only properties that they were dealing with was Fantastic Four and X-Men. And they said that this claim to fame was, oh, you see, Mr. Fantastic would have separated Wolverine's arms off at the end of it. What the hell kind of ending is that? Who the hell they got playing Mr. Fantastic? And Hugh Jackman's not Wolverine anymore. Who wrote this crap? It's always like that, man. I just like, when I see puff posters like that, it really makes me think that mainstream is just as thirsty for content as independent. If not more so. It's like, from time to time when I sit there and I plan out the shows and stuff like that, it gets to that point where it's like, I'm not going to be surprised if somebody of high caliber or whatever they call it nowadays will be happily looking at my stuff and be like, oh my God. Oh, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I'm going to cherry pick from him. Yeah, that's my way. I'm going to make a difference like that. I'm already established. He can't prove anything. Hey, what kind of lie is that? I'll prove everything. Now let's see what the world we live in is really, really messed up sometimes. But it's like this. They are on point with a few things, kind of like how Discord is up for grabs and Microsoft wants every penny of that. Which, by the way, as I elaborate on that further, I'm thinking this. I wouldn't want Microsoft to buy that. Microsoft already has Skype. A lot of people went to Discord to get away from Skype. I remember that years ago. Matter of fact, I'm one of them. Even though I came on the bus a little late, but still, I'm on the bus. But the point is that, I don't see it being, I have no control over it. Let's just go ahead and say that. I have no control over it because I don't have 18 million. If I had 18 million, granted, I probably would be, still doing the show with y'all because I like doing this. But the point is that if I had 18 million, I probably would have bought it myself. Yeah. Hey, Discord, a J360 Productions product. That sounds nice. Matter of fact, I need to keep that in mind sometime. I need to learn how to code. That'll be fun. Hey, but speaking of which, as we go about this, no, I don't want Microsoft owning it. Because there are times when Microsoft buys out a product that it doesn't get, one way or another, stability is out the window. Because that stuff will be damn near inoperable. You've seen Skype lately, like Skype for Business, and then like you try to use Skype for Business, Skype for Business doesn't want to use you because you don't have a business account or some crap. Or then at the same time, you try to get rid of Skype for Business, and there's no way to get rid of it, but it sits right there looking at you, and you looking at it, and then you're like, why the hell is this here? I have no benefit or claim to fame from it. And I remember one time I used to be about Skype. I used to be like, yo, yeah, let's use Skype. Come on, let's use Skype. And then I actually got into using Skype, and I'm not a fan of how it is now. And you can see like the support for Skype has been kind of iffy ever since Zoom came along and started kicking its ass. Nobody used Ovu. Nobody used Ovu at all. I remember that sitting there. It was like, yeah, you could have 8 of your friends in a video chat together. Why would I want to see them ugly sons of bitch? I'm just kidding. You got to understand, man. Like, I'm not saying that, I know that everybody, well, what's the term nowadays? They say everybody is beautiful, but you got to realize some of that beauty is pretty damn hard to look at. I'm just saying. All right? But when you get right down to it, it's like, no, I don't want them to buy Discord because I don't think it'll be used properly. I don't think it'll be maintained properly. I think, if anything, it will be sold out, and then eventually they'll probably discard it, misuse it, unless a whole lot of people that are using it stay on it and keep it alive, and then that'll be the one saving grace of it. Because a lot of businesses use it for community reach. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. But then it's like, I don't know anymore. Because I can see that the first year it'll be fine. Second year it'll be iffy. And then the third year it'll probably be integrated into Xbox Network to the point where it won't be used right at all. Kind of like how you have the party chat. Which, by the way, party chat is nice when it works. But then there's sometimes where, it's kind of shoddy too. If you get my drift. But yeah, like, I'm not a real fan of that. But then again, you can look at, there's other places, other things that are worse for it. Like, what if Comcast bought Discord? Probably the same result. Because, they're supposed to be heavy into this telecommunications game. And, well, anybody that has a Comcast bill knows what I'm talking about. Let's just be for real. Exactly. Like, any and everybody who has, well, damn, I shouldn't just go with Comcast. If anything, that's pretty much the region where I'm at right now. But anybody in the north, Time Warner. Anybody on the other side of the world, could be Verizon or AT&T. Hell, even over here with Verizon and AT&T. Every single one of these telecom networks and stuff, you pay for a service and you want that service to work, right? But then there's a chance where it's like, yeah, no, buddy. No. You are paying for a service, yes, but it is not required or recommended that we perform said service right or well for you. And I know a lot of y'all had a taste of it that day I did Jams 18. Remember the first part of Jams 18? I do. Not emotional scarring, mind you, but it's something that you can't forget. Because we were all ready to party that day, and I was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden Comcast was like, oh, you want to party? Y'all want to do that? On our tip? Hell no! Yep, and what was so sad about it is that my neighborhood was out that day anyway. Sucked. But that's why, like, whenever things like that go down, there's always going to be a shuffle episode to take its place. And as I say that, we're segueing into what Jams 20 is going to be like. And I'm going to tell you this. Jams 20 is going to be lit. I'm looking at the playlist right now, and I'm telling you this. We are going to have an amazing haul. Like, I actually wanted to look back and see, like, how far we've come and how we got to now. And I'm going to tell you this. It was a pretty good ride, because for a while there, if you listen to some of the earlier Jams episodes, like, it didn't have the structure as it did until it got to at least like number 10, number 8 or something like that. And as soon as we got to that structure, the show ended up becoming 3 hours after 12. So that was pretty cool. Especially when you're doing like a top 40 countdown. Now that's nice. And you see we got like a lot of favorites coming back, and we got some people making their appearance this episode. This is going to be big, and you do not want to miss it at all. Because, like, Friday night at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, Spreaker.com/J360Radio. That's Party Central, baby. One way or another, we're going to have a good time. And not only that, you're going to have, like, 20 of the greatest artists that actually signed up to be on it. And then you're going to have me tying it all together. And one way or another, it's going to be nice. It's going to be very, very beautiful. And for those of you that want to join in and chime in on the live chat sometime, you're welcome to do so. Like, I know what I said, like, the earlier episodes, but I was talking to those that are too big for themselves. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are like, why should I be on J360 Jams? Why not? Almost everybody else is. And we're all having a good time. Are you that special? See, it's little things like that, folks. Like, I'll happily fight with you on that one. It's like, Jams is nice. A great show and a great environment and a strong community. And if you want to connect with other musicians, this is how you network. So, come out, be a part of it. And I'll happily talk with you and stuff. It's one way to line it up. But, like I said, if you got to arm twist people to be on your show and all that kind of stuff, maybe it's just not for them, And at the end of the day, it's not a loss because it's a gain. It's kind of like when I was looking at my YouTube channel the other day, I managed to lose some subscribers because of my attitude. I don't feel bad about it. I'm loving it every step of the way. Because like this, for every one you lose, 10 you gain. So you're good. So it's like one of those ways to look into. Speaking of which, I remember somebody asking me, is it really hard to podcast? It can be challenging sometimes, but it's a very, very enjoyable thing to do. And I think like this, I recommend anybody to go ahead and actually podcast. But I always say this, it's like, don't expect those high expectations to come together all at once. You get my drift? This is why we're doing an afternoon talk anyway. Like I said, I'm getting all serious out right now so I can act like a damn fool at 10 o'clock tonight. It's almost like a werewolf transformation, y'all. I'm ready to do that. Especially what was going down. I mean, with all the things that are happening in society lately with the mass shootings and all, and allegedly like COVID spiking in Miami, it's too much. See, and the thing is, you don't need me to go ahead and throw a whole bunch of stuff at you right now about it. Like, I'm sure some of y'all are looking forward to entertainment, looking forward to some comedic value and something that's going to help you along the way. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. In addition to, like, doing an afternoon test and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is a little bit of a test because I'm checking to see, like, do I still got an afternoon? Am I as incredible as I need to be in the afternoon? Am I awesome in the afternoon? I just like saying afternoon. And the truth behind that is, yeah, because I've done these before. So it's like one of those kind of things. But I wanted to go ahead and clear that up because I didn't want any of these things to take over too much of the showtime that we're going to be doing tonight. Now, truth be told is there's still time for those of you out there that did not submit your tracks to jams yet. I understand. And I've been thinking this, okay? Like, is it a little too rigid for you? Do you have to have new songs ready for jams at that time? No, you do not. No, you do not. You do not. If anything, if you have a full discography, that's all you need. Like, just submit 2 tracks from that. Like, if anything, you're a musician. You have versatility to you. And you don't have to be on every episode. When I say that you're on the list on J360 Jams, and I say that, you can submit tracks anytime, you can submit tracks anytime. That's why it's a partnership. And partnerships are very important, especially in this line of work. So, no, I don't want any of my artists out there or favorite musicians or whatever getting stressed out about missing Jams 20. There's a lot more jams to become because if there wasn't, I wouldn't renew this for 3 years. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of those things to really, really think about. Maybe I should have named it that episode because that's what I've been saying all day. But it's the truth, guys. Like, I'm not trying to be so hard-edged about it. I know what I said on the last J-Man Show episodes. But, like I said, it's just making sure that the boundary line is known. And, like, you see, Wednesday's the day to submit. The last day, actually. I would say, if it was me, submit on Monday. As soon as I close out one Jams episode, track submissions are open by then and there. So you got plenty of time. So don't let it spaz you out. This is a relaxable, enjoyable environment. Okay? One way or another. Now, the funny part is like, you should look at me. I'm hosting the thing, for goodness sakes. How stressed out do you think I am? I'm not. All right? So we're going to have a good time regardless what. That's all that matters, man. There could be nobody in that chat and I'd still have a good time. That's just the way it goes. We're going to put the show on. We're going to have a good time just like we're doing right now. So, yeah. But I think I covered all the bases I need to touch on. I shouldn't say touch on either because you never know who will take that out of context. I'm talking about my show, which is an extension of myself. So in a way, I'm touching myself. But I'm on my own network, which is a premium network. So as I am premiumly touching myself, I'm freshly baked. Okay? Do you like the idea of that? So one way or another, as I'm talking in terms of context and trying so hard not to laugh at my own joke, understand exactly how this goes down, okay? Know the line, damn it. Know the line. And one way or another, I didn't even write that down. Yeah, notebook's blank. So yeah, that all came from me. All right. But until then, though, this is J-Man signing off, guys, and this is episode 198, 1 of 2. So come back tonight at 10 for 199, so we can go ahead and tie a ribbon on this. This is gonna be friggin' epic. And then before you say I was insane, it's like this: remember me now, and then remember me. Actually, no, remember me earlier. I was funnier then. I'll see y'all later. Okay, peace.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.